Hey folks, how are you? I don't have a lot of views on yesterday's FUBO stock video currently at the time, but I am getting some strong feedback as far as people. So I kind of want to screenshot and share that and really kind of talk about it. At the end of the day, I am not a licensed broker. I'm just really only sharing my story and my experience in the stocks I trade and do. And I was a strong proponent of wanting to have FUBO be successful, but I mean, I got Randy here saying if you can't stomach the volatility, you shouldn't buy the stock. But again, I watch a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of successful money managers. Honestly, I mean, if I thought this would go, I would have bought puts. I would have sold short the stock. I mean, I know you can't, but you can't have a stock go from basically 35 to 3. I mean, since November, and you panic. Well, you're not strong enough. I am, but Investors Business Daily teaches you basically if your stock drops 10%, cut your losses and move on. The problem with the market is really the stock could drop 10%, and the following week it's back up 10%. So I'm trying not to be a trader and trying to invest in companies but when do you get to a point where you know that I remember back in my younger 20s when the market corrected back then and Amazon was down to $5 and there was Yahoo, Webvan, and even I recall back in 2007 and 2008 when Citibank had corrected, and I lost a lot of money in Citibank and it went down to 70 cents. It never came back. It did a reverse split and still has never came back to where it was back in 2007, 2008. So, you get to a point when you basically don't have even the company. Now, Jesus here says David Gandler just tweeted he bought. So obviously he tweeted. So I'm like, okay, let's look into that and see what he has to say. So I am here on the screen. I pulled up his Twitter, and it says that he bought. But in all fairness, I guess today here, I could not be more confident in FUBO's ability to meet its goals. As a testament to my confidence, I bought 46,000 shares of FUBO today. Members of the executive team bought, even CFO. So basically, and it was basically pointed out that he bought $137,000 worth of stock in the last 2 days, but he sold $1.5 million last year. I mean, when you couldn't come out at $10 and when the stock was 35 in November and get on it, I am beyond. There's too many stocks, and someone says you don't have the stock. Well, no. Do I want to lose every dime? No. There's several stocks that I've gotten that are down 80-90%, and these are stocks that had a good compelling story, like Tilray. But let's listen in here a little bit.
In business. Where do you see the opportunities with?
Let's listen into the FUBO CEO here.
We had I would say, a relatively strong quarter with 98% revenue growth, 81% growth in our advertising business. In terms of headwinds, it's just a tough macro environment, as you already know. You've seen some capitulation over the last couple of days, which I think has really led to an aggressive situation with respect to many of the growth stocks. But for us, really, it comes down to hiring more people and continuing to execute on our plan.
Now, I want to talk about the North American market. There was some forward guidance that saw a decline in subscribers and revenue, but as you mentioned, they're consistent with some of this normal seasonal trends that you're seeing in business. Where do you see the opportunities within North America and outside of it?
Yeah, so the North American market is extremely strong. What we continue to see is that the macro trend around the secular decline of television continues. There are still an enormous number of households, roughly 72 million households that still have cable. And particularly as you go into a recessionary period, I think people typically look for lower cost alternatives. and alternatives like FUBO allow you to maintain your current lifestyle, reduce costs. So we're very, very bullish on the business of aggregation in general in terms of cable bundles. So excited there. The advertising business in North America, I think, is going to pick up in Q2 through Q4. We also typically see some seasonality, some softness in Q1. But as you head into the sports season, we do anticipate both revenue and CPM to increase there. On the international front, I think we're still in the very, very early days. As I'm sure you know, we've acquired a company in France that also exceeded expectations with 305,000 paying subscribers. And that business is, again, in its early days, and we're in the process of unifying our technology platform. We believe there's about $75 million of savings over the next 3 years, or cost synergies that we'll be able to experience. So, we're in the business of building a live TV streaming platform, and there's over 1 billion pay TV customers globally. So I think the opportunity is immense.
And I want to talk FUBO Sportsbook because it was named the authorized gaming operator of NASCAR last year. Talk about sports betting as we see it's continuing to heat up. How do you see FUBO playing a role in that, as well as competing in the space with some of the other big names?
Yeah, a very good question. I think in terms of competition, we've certainly proven ourselves as a competitor. We launched our Vert video service about 1.5 years after companies like.
Well, of course. I mean, he's talking about the macro environment, basically, that the market for stocks is not good right now. But and here we even have someone to point out. And the fact that you're unwilling to adjust your strategy to stop the bleeding of cash and stock dilution is crazy. You have shareholders who want to see them burn rate reduced significantly. I would give you one more quarter that I'm selling if there isn't improvement. But again, the stock I sold for $325. I mean, you got all Netflix. I mean, Netflix down from 700 to 170. I like the story of FUBO. I don't like to lose that kind of money. I mean, I am not a whale as far as investing. This is money that my kids in their 401ks and that I've done for them in good, solid companies, and really thought the story of FUBO was compelling. But just how ironic that I saw on Friday. Now the stock today was again down because the market is down, and yet if FUBO needs sport betting to get them profit, might be a new time for a new strategy. And where was he 3 months ago? I mean, this is just, I'm not happy. And I mean, I've seen reports, and that's the problem. I'm going to highlight that too. And I'm looking over his. I've only been a shareholder the last 8-9 months and stuff, but to watch basically a stock drop as fast and as much and it's just a little too late, David. It's just late, man. Let's look at, here is the stock chart. I mean, look here, 35.10. I don't think did we have 1 month up at all in the last? I mean, look at this. 35.10. This is straight. 282. Let's. I mean, you got the pros coming out and saying that basically. I mean, we have an average now target of $10.83, and obviously it's a lot higher than today. It was down another 10% at $2.91. But I mean, there was targets of $35, $40 on just a couple months ago, and the pros that did it didn't even know this, and they're downgrading it. There's talk about bankruptcy and stuff. Basically, FUBO Shares J.P. Morgan, equivalent to a sell. And and that's the thing. I've watched a couple stocks that I was patient and held on, and they're even lower. So when do you get to a point where you just that's it. Enough is enough, and that's honestly where I'm at, and I decided to sell out. Now let me look and see. And I closed that one screen down too quick. Yeah, I mean they're even saying that over the next, which you can't base this is. Yeah. Tops revenue estimates, and yet the stock still wider first quarter loss. Let me look at their cash position. Total cash, $347 million. Debt, $363 million. Basically, they have $2.43. They're trading at cash right now. Their shares short. Over 16% of the shares are short. So there's not a lot of confidence in the company. Let's pull up. This is the Weeble desktop app. Yeah, it says 8 hours ago, news was released on insider buying. David, yep, 137,000. And he controls over 2.5 million shares with held directly and half held directly, half indirectly. Let's see if we. I'm curious. It doesn't matter what his pay is. I know that, but I like I said, I'd be curious to see. Let's see what his pay is. I mean, it's always easier when you're making $1.5 million last year on a stock to come back in and buy it for $137,000. Big deal. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I made $1.5 million last year on the stock, I'd come back in and buy $137,000 now. Yeah, and he's got $1 million pay per year. It's only got 530 employees. Roth, I mean, I would have liked to seen it been bought out. I was actually hoping that it would have got back. My average cost, I think, was $18.94. This has been one ugly market. One ugly market. But the people that are watching, you're right. I gave up on the stock and sold it on Friday for $325. I just had enough. Oh, here's one guy. Has a buy rating with a target of 5. 5! You got Amazon, you got Tesla, you got a lot of stocks dropping. And I sold it. So, is it going to come back to bite me? Yeah, I mean, it's already bitten me enough, so... I knew I was right on Roku and should have stayed short on that position, and look what happened. So, all right, guys. Hey, I do appreciate watching. I wanted to kind of answer some of those thoughts and really my feedback and, honest. The people that are commenting, are you in the stock? It's always, put your money where your mouth is. Are you I sold Exxon. I thought I was doing the right thing. So, but apparently not. So, but now I got some more work to do, and got to try to make back what we lost. So, all right, guys, thanks for supporting. Give me thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.